Have you ever wondered if, even in the silence of a deep forest, someone might be watching you, someone who is not human? On a cold night in 2004, 7 teenagers in the mountain forests of the North Cascades, United States, faced an experience that still sends chills down the spine. The ones they called out to for help became their very first nightmare. But the real terror descended when, in the darkness of night, hundreds of strange figures began moving slowly toward them. What exactly did they see on that mountain peak? And why is it said that humans are forbidden from going there? To uncover this horrifying true story, watch the video until the very end on Spirit Horror World. If you enjoyed the video, please like it, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to share it with friends who love horror. And if you know a true incident that still haunts you to this day, you can send it to us at spirithorrorworld@gmail.com.
Names and locations in this incident have been changed for privacy reasons, so without wasting any time, let's get into the story. This story was sent to us by a listener named Michael Rahman. The incident he shared did not happen directly to him. He heard it from a close relative of his, a man named Ryan Collins. At the time, Ryan was an active member of the United States Army, serving in the 33rd Infantry Division. He was stationed near Fort Lewis, Washington, in a cantonment area. This incident happened directly to Ryan himself, and he was not alone. Several of his close friends were with him that day, all of whom witnessed the same event with their own eyes. The date was February 19th, 2004. Winter was almost over, but the air was still sharply cold. At that time, they were all 10th grade high school students, under heavy pressure from upcoming exams. A total of 14 friends decided to go on a short trip together. The destination was a remote mountain forest in the North Cascades, very close to the Canadian border. The place was unbelievably beautiful, yet terrifyingly silent. They had visited the area the year before on a school trip. Back then, teachers were present, so they never had the freedom to explore on their own. That unfinished desire is what pulled them back this time. This time, there were no teachers, no adults, just 14 teenagers, cold mountain air, and dense forest in every direction. And none of them knew that this trip was about to become the most terrifying experience of their lives. Their plan was to go on their own, not completely separating from each other, but traveling without school or teacher supervision. There was only one goal: to see the mountain forest, the border area, and the barbed wire fences with their own eyes. Ryan was part of this group of 14. With him was his older brother's son, Trevor Miller, and there was another friend whose name was also Ryan. Since they shared the same name, everyone called one of them Northside Ryan. He lived in Northside, an area slightly north of the city. The incident mainly revolves around these few individuals. The rest of the boys were present, but they were not directly involved in what happened. That is why their names were never mentioned separately. On the morning of the picnic, a small charter bus arrived in front of their high school before dawn. Everyone left very early that morning. It was the year 2004. Back then, mobile phones were not common. Out of the entire group, only 2 people had mobile phones. They were old button phones. They also brought 2 cameras with them. Digital cameras were not yet common at that time. These were film cameras, with rolls loaded inside. Around 11 in the morning, they reached their destination. The mountains, dense forests, and nearby border areas were crowded with people. It was picnic season. But the place they were about to head towards had a very different story. Winter was almost over, but many tourists visited the area during this time. Before leaving, they had bought food from a nearby town, packed chicken biryani in separate packets for everyone. After arriving at the spot, they parked the bus in the designated area and stepped out. They wandered through the mountains and forest, and around 2:30 to 2 o'clock they returned to the vehicle. There, they sat down, ate their food, and took some rest.
After taking some rest, they decided to split into 2 groups. 14 people divided into 2 groups of 7. The reason was simple: if everyone stayed together, they wouldn't be able to explore properly. Since only 2 people had mobile phones, 1 phone holder was assigned to each group. The idea was that the 2 groups could stay in contact if needed. Ryan, Trevor, and both Ryans were in the same group. In that group, the mobile phone was with Trevor. Walking through the mountain forest, they slowly went very far inside. Their main goal was to see the barbed wire fence near the border. In the picnic area, there were large loudspeakers. From time to time, announcements and directions were broadcast through them, but they had gone so far that the sound of the microphones no longer reached their ears. Walking through dense forest and uneven mountains, everyone became exhausted. Their bodies felt weak. And that was when they realized how much time had passed. Evening was approaching. That's when fear slowly began to rise. They realized they were lost. Instead of heading toward the border, they had taken the wrong path. They had gone deep into the forest. As far as the eye could see, there were only trees and mountains. There were no settlements within 5 to 10 kilometers. They pulled out the mobile phone and tried to get a signal, but there was no signal. Daylight was fading fast, and the forest was slowly changing. The nearest cell tower was close to the picnic spot. They had gone so deep that the phones had no signal at all. By then, evening had already fallen. The air began to turn cold. Fortunately, everyone was wearing winter clothes. They had strong shoes on their feet. Suddenly, Ryan looked down the mountain and saw a few people in the distance. In that moment, a small sense of hope rose in everyone. They thought this might be a way out. They assumed these were local people who could show them the way. All 7 of them shouted together, asking for help. Hearing their voices, the people began walking toward them. As they got closer, it became clear they were around 20 to 25 years old. But they didn't say a single word. Suddenly, they attacked. 2 of them were holding long, sharp, knife-like weapons. They were talking to each other in broken English mixed with another language. No one could clearly understand what they were saying. In that moment, Northside Ryan was stabbed. He was critically injured. Blood began to pour out. The violence in their eyes made it clear these were not ordinary people. They had not come to help. They had come to attack. Their behavior made one thing clear: they did not want anyone to see them. And now that they had been seen, they didn't want to leave anyone alive. Darkness was closing in around them. The attackers kept striking again and again, and the 7 of them, unarmed and exhausted, were only trying to survive. Inside the dense forest, in the cold air, the light was slowly disappearing, and with the darkness, the situation became even more terrifying. Northside Ryan collapsed on the ground, crying out in pain. A large amount of blood was flowing from his body. For some time, he lay there completely motionless. Suddenly, he stood up. Looking at everyone, he shouted, "We have to run right now. If we don't, they will kill us." Saying this, he started running. The other 6 followed him without a second of delay. At that moment, everyone had only one thought: no matter what, they had to get out. As they ran, they shouted each other's names, so no one would get separated, so no one would disappear from sight. No one knew where they were going. They just ran. No one dared to look back because they knew those people were running right behind them. No one can say how long they ran. At some point, they realized the attackers were no longer in sight. Still, they didn't stop. Fear kept their legs moving on its own. Then, suddenly, two of them collapsed. They fell unconscious into water inside the forest. Strangely, both of them were named Ryan. One was Northside Ryan, critically wounded by the knife. The other was Ryan Collins, who collapsed from extreme exhaustion and physical strain. After some time, when they regained consciousness, they saw that all 7 of them were together. A tank top taken off someone's body had been tightly wrapped around the injured Ryan's wound. A lot of blood had already been lost. The cloth was completely soaked. By then, it was almost completely dark. No one said a word.
Everyone understood they were still not completely safe. Running had made Northside Ryan's condition even worse. Everyone had brought their school bags with them. Inside the bags were water and a few necessary supplies. But night had fallen, and the forest was pitch dark. Moving through the forest while holding a mobile phone had become impossible. If more dangerous people appeared, or if someone spotted them, the danger would only grow, especially if that group recognized them. The attack had been so sudden and aggressive that no one understood why it happened. Maybe they had done something that caught their attention. Maybe those people were searching for someone. Or maybe there was another reason they were attacked. With all these fears in mind, they decided to keep the phone switched off or on vibration mode. Tanvir, who had the phone, quietly set it to vibration and hid it under his jacket close to his chest. That gave everyone a small sense of relief. Their physical condition was bad. Some had pain in their legs. Some had twisted ankles. Hands and feet were cut and scraped. During the run, they had suffered all kinds of injuries. Almost everyone was having trouble with their legs. From time to time, Tanvir opened his jacket zipper to check the phone signal. It was night now. The cold had grown sharper. The pain in their bodies felt stronger. Even walking had become difficult. None of them knew the routes. They had already lost their way in daylight. In the darkness of night, it was impossible to know where to go. So they decided it was better to stay in one place and avoid moving further in the darkness. The mountain forest was filled with snakes, wild animals, and other dangerous creatures. They reached a place where a tall mountain stood ahead of them. It seemed taller than any mountain they had seen all day. And the strangest thing was this: there were no trees on this mountain. No dense forest, just an open, rocky slope. It felt like a temporary shelter, a place where they could survive the night, at least, for a while. The most noticeable feature of this mountain was how open it was. Unlike the others, there were no trees or thick forest here. The top was completely open and flat. Nothing was visible except darkness and mist all around. If there had been houses in the distance, they might have seen lights, but in the darkness of night, nothing could be seen. They felt it would be safer to stay here for the night, so they climbed together to the top of the mountain. While observing their surroundings, they noticed a tree in the distance. In such an open place, a single tree stood out clearly. In the darkness, they couldn't tell what kind of tree it was. It was large and thick, spreading out like an umbrella. Some said it looked like a kind of mango tree. The branches were very low. Everyone was able to climb up and sit on them. everyone chose a different spot on the branches. The branches were thick and strong. There was enough space to lean back, even to lie down. From time to time, Tanvir checked the phone. It was around 11 at night. They used their school bags not just to sit, but as pillows under their heads. They talked quietly among themselves. They shared what they had experienced. Because of exhaustion and injuries, they soon fell into deep sleep. The cold, the fatigue, and the fear combined into a strange calm. That calm settled over the open mountain peak. Deep in the night, Monir suddenly woke up. He slowly lifted his head. He saw everyone else sleeping deeply. He was about to lie back down, and then he noticed something strange on one side of the forest, a kind of light. Monir sat up. Since they were on the highest mountain, sitting on tree branches, the surroundings were clearly visible. Inside the distant forest, faint white lights were moving. It looked like glow-in-the-dark objects, objects that charge in light and glow softly in darkness, like radium beads or a luminous rosary. But the strangest thing was this: it wasn't a single light. There were many. Curious, Monir began waking everyone up one by one. In a whisper, he said, "Look over there." At first, they assumed it was their friends from the other group. Maybe they had brought people to search for them. So they watched closely. But after 5 or 4 minutes, their bodies went cold, because it wasn't light. From inside the forest, countless figures dressed in bright white were moving forward. Slowly. There were many. At least 150 to 200 of them. Each body was emitting a kind of glow, but the light didn't illuminate the surroundings, just like radium glows without lighting up a room. They were all moving in the same direction, straight towards them. As they came closer, the truth became clear. They were not human. They were almost twice the height of a normal human. Their movements were unnatural. Their bodies were not shaped like humans. All around them was deep forest. The 7 of them were alone. All of them were injured in one way or another. And Northside Ryan was in the worst condition. No one could make a sound. It felt like their voices had been taken away. There was no way to run, no place to hide. In that moment, there was no one to help them but God. Just then, Monir whispered softly, "Climb higher, now. We can't stay this low. If we stay low, they'll see us." Standing beneath the tree was no longer safe. Something was getting very close. They climbed higher into the tree. This time, they sat close together. Monir whispered sharply, his voice barely audible. "No sound. If you're terrified, close your eyes and stay absolutely still." Moments later, the mysterious figures moved closer to the trees. From above, the group witnessed something deeply unsettling. 4 men were carrying what looked like a bier on their shoulders. Behind them, the others walked in perfect formation, disciplined and silent. It looked disturbingly similar to a military procession. Ryan couldn't tell whether the bier was made of wood or metal. What struck him was the craftsmanship. It was flawless, elegant, almost too perfect. He had never seen anything like it before. They stopped directly beneath the tree. The distance was roughly 100 to 150 meters. By now, their eyes had adjusted to the darkness, allowing them to make out shapes and movement. Faces were impossible to see. Height, build, clothing, all identical. But among the formation, 5 to 7 figures wore different garments, regal, commanding. The bier was lowered. That was when Ryan and the others noticed it, a freshly dug grave. It hadn't been there before. When they had climbed the tree, there was no pit, no sign of disturbed ground, or maybe the darkness had hidden it. Fear locked their bodies in place. Fingers dug into the branches so tightly their hands hurt. Falling was not an option. A fall wouldn't just mean injury, it would mean death. They stayed frozen until dawn. As the first light of morning broke through the trees, they realized it was finally daytime. Even then, none of them dared to move. Only after the sun fully rose did they gather the courage to climb down. Moving was agony. They descended the hill slowly, walking a short distance, then collapsing to rest. Pain and exhaustion made every step unbearable. Staying still felt just as dangerous. Their water was gone. Northside Ryan was in critical condition. Around noon, a patrol team found them. Using wireless radios, they alerted the nearby camp. Rescue began immediately. Since vehicles couldn't reach the area, part of the journey was done using horse-drawn carts. The rescuers carried the stretchers themselves, struggling through rough terrain to save all 7. At the camp, they were reunited with their friends. Food and shelter were provided. Patrol units were informed, and a full search operation was planned for daylight. Their families had already arrived, frantic with fear. With no network coverage near the hills, news of the incident had been delayed. Northside Ryan was rushed to a health complex, where he remained hospitalized for several days. The others suffered from pain, fever, and shock, but nothing life-threatening. After that night, none of them could sleep alone. None of them dared walk in darkness by themselves. Eventually, they visited a local spiritual healer. Through what he described as loyal Jinn, the healer revealed the truth. The hill they had climbed was a Jinn burial ground. That night, a Jinn had been laid to rest. The 7 men hidden in the trees had gone unnoticed. If they had been detected, the consequences could have been far worse. Human presence during a Jinn funeral is considered deeply offensive, but at that moment, the Jinn were bound by ritual. They could not act. That was the only reason the 7 of them survived.
Although the Ryans survived, the darkness of that mountain forest still lingers at the edge of their vision. Sometimes it feels as if that light is still glowing, and unseen spirits are watching them. Have you ever seen something beyond description? Imagine, would you walk alone inside that mountain? In the next episode, we will return with even deeper, even more terrifying tales, where the shadows of the mountains and the secrets they hide will haunt you even more. Stay with Spirit Horror World. Subscribe and press the bell icon to follow every chilling story. Share your own experiences by emailing us at spirithorrorworld@gmail.com.